Yes.
Yes, sir. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order.
Okay.
For the decision last meeting, we'll begin with a roll call. Go around and say who's present and whether they're present here as a homeowner or as a board member. Katie, were you going to call that roll? Or?
I'll start it off.
Okay.
Katie Jones, Sterling Real Estate Management.
Robert Miller, board member. Al Stone, board member. Mike Hutchins, SREO. Jim Atkinson, attorney. Carpenter Hazelwood. Gary Phelps, board member. Scott Higgins, board member.
Blaine Stewart, I'll be here both as a board member and as a homeowner at the call to the public, but I'll let you know. And I know this is out of order. I'm going to make a quick motion on the table right now to adjourn this meeting and get a independent legal opinion. I'm recommending Keith Hammond because he has served the board previously. And Mr. Atkinson, I know you drove all the way up here. You'll be compensated, of course, but I'm recommending, based on the new information that we got yesterday from the Arizona bar attorney, that we adjourn this meeting and again get that independent legal opinion and then reschedule the meeting in a couple of weeks after we have received that.
I would second that. You know, in addition, with the intentions of hopefully being able to have the whole board present at the meeting in person, I suppose.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think all 5 board members should be present, so I'll add that to the motion as well. To adjourn the meeting, 1, get an independent legal opinion from Mr. Keith Hammond about the allegations that have been made about the board members personally, Mr. Atkinson, and then reschedule the meeting in a couple of weeks after that independent legal opinion has been rendered, and the rescheduling occurs only when all 5 board members can attend, because I know Scott's got to leave shortly.
Yeah, and I apologize. I only have a few more minutes.
So I believe that motion is on the table with the second. Is that correct?
Yeah, second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Nay. Nay. Nay.
Alrighty.
What's that?
I believe the motion failed to carry. I strongly suggest that we get a independent legal opinion before we continue. But the motion did not appear to carry.
Did not. All right. Call item number 3. Call to the public. The 131 Fine Fuel. Was he going to be here?
He wasn't going to be here in person, but he did request that it'll be discussed during an open meeting. So it's in your packet. Pages 1 through 4.
I'm not the best.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said, Gary.
We're talking about the lot 131. Have you read through the packet, Mike?
No, I haven't read it.
Okay. Basically, it's Mr. Moffitt there was a $50 fine for having the trash can out. He said he had left for a trip and his neighbor pulled it back into the yard on the 17th. What I said was, I am not the best in the world about getting my trash can in right away, and I'm gone quite a bit as well. So I rely on my teenage son, which always isn't the best thing. But so I don't have a problem to waive the fine. Motion to waive the fine. Is there a second? I second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
The 2 items.
Scott?
Hi.
So there's
Yeah, I had myself on mute. I got a loud dog here, so I'm muted. But yes, hi.
okay. All right.
And I'll stay on as long as I can. I'll probably we're gonna kick off here, and I'll keep on while we drive. But I'll
All right. And just so you know, you told me when we were talking the other day, you told me that Fridays were a good day for you.
Yeah. Right now, my schedule is I'm off Fridays, so I mean, if that's acceptable to everybody else, works for me.
Yeah. For the most part, I can make that work. Maybe not every Friday, but
Yep.
most Fridays.
And my schedule's subject to change a little bit too. Sometimes they'll want us to but right now for the next month or a couple months. That's it.
Okay. All right. Next item is a Lot 17 copy fee appeal, which was $5.71, and I don't have an issue with waiving it. I don't have an issue. So is there a motion? I'll make a motion that we waive the $5.71. I second. All in favor? Aye.
I'm abstaining on that because it affects me financially.
Okay. Motion passes. There any other items in the call to the public?
Oh, on the call. As I'm switching hats here, if I speak as
Your volume's kind of breaking out there a little bit.
okay, I don't know what to tell you. I'm talking normally and clearly. Can you hear me now?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I was pretty shocked at, and again, I'm speaking as a homeowner at call. Pretty shocked. With my conversation with the attorney, the bar attorney. I believe his name was Matt McGuire. Can you still hear me? I heard a click.
Yeah. You're here.
Okay. Basically, the board told me that no board member had any prior knowledge about the redactions of the emails. And to the best of my recollection, and I haven't gotten it in writing yet, Mr. McGuire said that there was a meeting between Mr. Phelps, Mr. Miller, Ms. Kuhn, and Mr. Atkinson, and they all decided to redact these emails. I think that is probably an illegal meeting that occurred, and I was kind of shocked that I believe that you may have lied to me, Gary. You told me that you didn't have any prior knowledge of these redactions, and Mr. McGuire told me exactly in the contrary to that you actually did order those redactions, and those are clearly, in my mind, violations of ARS 33-1805. There were numerous violations of those, and I believe you lied to me. Based on what he told me. And that is, I think everything else has been detailed in my letter, but that is new information that came to light, and that is all I have to say as a homeowner.
Okay. Item number 4, reviewing the minutes, revised from 12/22. What's that?
So the revision made based upon discussion under reviewing the minutes is the second bullet point, which reflects that Mr. Stewart was not in favor of approving the minutes, and that he did not second it. The motion was seconded, but he was not the one who seconded it.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that, Katie. You're a long way from the speaker.
Here, hang on, we'll move the phone.
The revision reflected in the minutes is under the second bullet point, under review meeting minutes. It was made so that the motion was seconded. It's not specific as to who seconded the minutes, and then it did note that Mr. Stewart was not in favor of approving the minutes. those are the revisions made.
Yeah. Yep. And the reason I was not, okay. Yeah. And the reason I was not is Gary had no personal knowledge of what actually occurred at that meeting. He pushed through a version of the minutes that he couldn't have possibly known what happened because he did not attend that meeting.
Okay, so is there a motion to approve the minutes? Approve the minutes? Yes, motion approved. Second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
I'm still reading. Hang on just a moment. You know what? I'm just going to abstain so we can move the meeting along. It's already going to pass.
Okay. Motion approved. And review the minutes February 25th and April 8th, 2016.
Is this page 8?
Yes. Page 8 and 9.
Sorry, what was that whisper comment?
I was clarifying whose water was mine.
Oh, thanks.
Give me just 2 more seconds.
Is this February? Oh, okay, February 25th.
Blaine and Scott, have you had a chance to review it?
I have not. I'm still reading. But if you want to make the motion, you can go ahead and do that.
To approve. Motion's made to approve. Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Aye.
Again, I'll abstain. I haven't read through them all.
Opposed? Alright. Financials?
One more
Okay.
second.
Oh, is there one more set of minutes?
Yes. 4-8. Unless it was a motion for both.
Oh, okay. I meant both.
Oh.
Do we need a separate motion for the,
I would, for the record.
okay. Alright. Motion to approve the minutes of April the 8th.
I'd like to read these, please. On that, I guess under open forum 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth bullet, Mr. Stewart arrived, asked that he address the board as a homeowner, summarized his communications to the association surrounding Track B. No, what I did was detailed where I believe the board had acted illegally. I think that's pretty clear from the video. How he felt the board was not acting within the state laws regarding, okay. You know what? That's fine. Never mind. So update.
Motion to approve the minutes as written.
I'd still like to finish. I'd still like to finish reading these.
Okay. Go ahead and call a motion in a second and then discussion. Commissioner Reedman.
Yeah, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sixth bullet. The reason I was not in favor of sending that letter is because I believe it contained patently false information. I'd like to update that, and I think I stated that there. And it's pretty clear from the video. that I believe the letter that you sent to Mr. Moffett, or that you voted to send to Mr. Moffett, was not true. I made a motion. The next bullet. The next bullet, Mr. Miller made a motion to have me stop reporting the board's illegal activity. He wanted me to stop. He wanted some kind of injunction to stop me from reporting his illegal activity. Board member in a letter of censure. Stone second the motion. Okay. So that was it. It's that one bullet. I just want to clarify that you were trying to stop me from reporting any illegal activity to the board. I'm done. I finished reading. That's my only comment.
Okay, motion to approve the minutes as written. Second. Motion second, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. 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 All opposed?
Nay. I believe these are not complete minutes. And I also believe the video of that meeting will show that these are not complete.
All right, moving on. Financials. Item 5. I've reviewed them and I'm fine with me. Anybody have any questions on them? Remind me, we need a motion. I move we approve. First. Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Had an aye, Scott? I said yes. Aye. Okay. Opposed? And I'm going to have to go ahead and jump off, everybody. Once again, apologies, but it's all right. We'll try to schedule the next meeting. So we'll look at Fridays. And is there a certain time on Friday? Or are you free all day? I think free all day, and I mean probably earlier the better would be preference. I do have some things going on in the later afternoon, evening. So if we could do earlier, if that's not a problem for anybody. Okay. All right. Yeah, we're going to bring that up and talk about it. So I think, like I said, for most Fridays I could do. There's going to be one or two I won't be able to do. So okay. Thank you. Thanks, Scott. Yeah. Thank you all. Have a good night.
See you, Scott.
Okay.
I think you explained the vote.
Oh, I voted in favor of the financials.
You did?
Okay.
Yeah, I voted in
I
favor.
think you and Scott talked over each other.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Item 6, old business.
5A.
Oh, 5A?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see that.
Right?
Management invoice approval, February and April. Thank you, Katie. I'm glad you're good.
So we included a couple invoices from SREM for our contract we billed for the additional services in regards to the potential claim.
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mike. Can you scoot the phone over to you? You're just really garbled. I can't understand what you're saying.
Give us a second.
So SREM has submitted invoices in regards to additional services that were performed in regards to the potential claim. Also in regards to administrative services that we provided to research previous HOA documents at $45 an hour. The two invoices are submitted. SREM will submit another invoice as we have not calculated the time spent via telephone, phone calls with insurance companies, etc. So I'm looking for a motion from the board to accept the invoices as submitted.
Okay. Motion to accept the invoices as submitted. Second. Discussion?
This is just the extra time, Mike?
What's that, Blake?
This is extra time
Yes.
per your contract with the board?
Yes.
Okay.
There's two separate ones here. Do we need two separate motions, or can we just accept it as? I'll restate it. I mean, we'll accept both of the invoices. Second. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I was in favor there. I don't know if you heard me.
Okay. No, we didn't. Let me cut out. You said he was in favor. Okay. All right. Now item 6. 6A, tree trimming vendor.
Blaine to be able to hear me.
Hang on, Blaine. We're going to move the phone again.
Thank you.
So at the last February meeting, you guys approved A&A landscaping to do tree trimming, specifically right next to lot number 1, the branches overhanging from the common area trees next to they're overhanging the roof. Going through the process, issuing the work order, requesting a certificate of insurance. It was discovered after talking with A&A Landscaping that they actually were going to be subcontracting to A&A tree cutting service. I was able to obtain an A&A Landscaping insurance certificate with the requirements for our management contract. However, they were not able to list the association as additionally insured on the A&A tree cutting certificate of insurance. So, in order to move forward with this, I put an independent contract agreement to see if A&A Landscaping would be willing to sign it, hold the association harmless. Otherwise, the alternate would be to not use A&A Landscaping and get a different tree cutting vendor that would name the association insurance or name it as additionally insured. So that's for discussion. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer.
Okay. Did they have any reason why they wouldn't put us on as additionally insured?
From what I could gather, it was kind of an administrative thing on their end on A&A tree cutting. I don't know the depths of it to speak for Aaron, but he did state that it was, and maybe it has to do with the size of the job of a couple $100. I don't know what his costs are on that A&A tree service to add additionally insured. Sometimes that happens, but I don't know specifically.
Yeah, sometimes it can cost I've had to add those for some of the companies that I own, and it can add a couple of $100. Sometimes the insurance company will ding you. I mean, that's what we have liability insurance for, but we can flip that over to Mr. Atkinson since he's in attendance and see if he thinks we should continue that contract with them or if it's that important.
Well, typically our recommendation as a firm not to use an uninsured contractor, and whether you're named on the certificate doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to be covered. It just means you have to make a claim against the vendor, and the vendor would go to their insurance company. Hopefully, their insurance company would defend them. It's best to be named, but it's not mandatory. If you have a company that's got good financial viability, the indemnification that Katie used and all the harmless is one way to make sure that you protect it. Now, lawsuits are not what you're buying when you buy a vendor. So the better thing would be to find a vendor that will name you as additional insured and have them do the work.
Okay. So I kind of heard two things. I heard basically it's not all that important, but we need to at least verify that they have insurance. Would that be accurate?
They did provide insurance.
Okay.
They provide a certificate of insurance with the limits. They just would not name the association as additionally insured under the A&A tree cutting. And it sounds like the work wouldn't be contracted through the tree cutting. It's going to be contracted through the landscaping, and they are going to subcontract to the tree trimming business.
Oh, I see. So there's the potential that somebody's not insured.
So the contract should be with landscape. Yeah. They're the ones that is insured. Yeah.
And they will list additionally insured.
Then you're probably okay.
Okay. It sounds okay to me. If we're not, because I refuse sometimes to additionally insure people because it can ding you, and it would cost me and my corporations anywhere from $200 to $500 sometimes. But most people would do business with us if we just provided a copy of that ACORD, and so based on my understanding of what Mr. Atkinson said, I think we're fine to stay with that tree cutting company.
So we are contracting with A&A Landscaping.
Landscaping.
And they are subcontracting today. And I guess for some reason I always thought that they were the same business.
The same owner, different businesses.
Okay.
So I guess I just want to make sure everybody understands that the motion is okay to move forward as.
Yeah. I'll make the motion that we move forward with A&A Landscaping. Second.
And signing this or not signing this?
I recommend you have to sign it.
Okay.
Any discussion on that? I'm fine with having to sign it. Based on your conversations with them, is that an issue?
I don't foresee that. I will need to confirm it.
All right. Well, I'll stay with the motion. And second. Alan. All in favor? Aye. Aye.
I'm in favor.
Okay. Opposed? None. Okay. All right. Neighborhood event.
All right. Hopefully you guys got your flyer. Amber and Misty have been working hard putting all this together, coordinating it. So the community event is scheduled for June 4th at the end of High Country Trail. City permit has been obtained. Right now they just are asking for the board to approve their potential overage of around $200, just because right now the only thing left to do is food. So they'll submit the receipt once they get that. Page 24 shows the expenses to date. There's a $350 deposit the city should come back unless something crazy happens, but so that would put you about $1,200 over. I guess I'm sorry, $200 over. You guys had approved $1,000. They're anticipating around $1,200. If something else comes up that the food costs more, I don't know if you guys want to maybe authorize a little bit more, so I don't have to come back to you to it. It's up to you guys, but this is kind of where they're at. You'll see on the next page their budget. And just an update on this, those two will be there. The Balance House will be there. There will not be any management representation at that meeting or at the event. I don't know what board members are planning on stopping in if you want, but they are aware of the city permit and everything that's on it.
If I'm not sure I'm saying it correctly, but once we get the refund back to $350, we will net out under what?
They're still anticipating $300 in food expenses.
Okay.
So you'll be right at that.
So if we approve an additional 200, just in case, so what you're suggesting?
I would.
Well, let me ask, if we approve the 200, once the dust settles and we get the refund,
You're going to be close.
we're going to be very close to what we approved in the first place.
Yeah,
No.
No?
Well, if you take the 1,200, then we get 350 back, and we offer an additional 200, then you're covered, right?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Let's call it a wash. So let's say the food costs $350, you're going to be at $1,250.
Okay,
So you've approved $1,000 to date.
Motion to approve $1,250. That's fine. So $1,250 will be our total out-of-pocket cost.
Second.
I'll have a second. Any discussion? Yeah.
I'm in favor.
And one more thing for the neighborhood event, Kitty Caboose is the entity, but they're just providing face painters. Same situation with, I do have a certificate of interest for the bounce house people. They were able to give that. Kitty Caboose doesn't carry insurance on their face painters. So here's another vendor agreement, which they've already agreed to sign. The board is okay with that. In the event someone gets a paintbrush in the eye, I'm not sure. Pink eye.
See, face painting is something different than tree trimming. Motion to approve. Yes. Yeah. Bounce house might be an issue. Blaine, any discussion?
What are we on? I'm sorry.
The face painting, we would just be signing a vendor agreement. They don't have insurance.
You guys want to approve that? I'm okay with it. We have liability insurance that covers us if they somehow, I don't know what they're going to do, stick some paint in somebody's eye or something.
All right, so we have a motion. Motion to approve the independent contractor agreement. Kitty Caboose, second. Second, all in favor? Aye. Aye.
I'm in favor.
Okay. All right, 7A, Arizona Corporation Commission filing.
Yeah.
Kind of didn't remember why we were talking about that common area. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't really follow. I need to start reading this. Common area, okay. Well, common area planning. I mean, for the common area planning? Yeah, okay. Yeah. I've already heard it. Go over it.
So the board discusses, I don't know if it's December or January meeting. Blaine, I think you identified the trees on the common area.
Yeah, I was walking around with Mr. Stone. I remember this, and I can make a motion to approve it. It's we just asked the people to take their trees off the common area, or else we'll remove them ourselves.
Right, so they were sent a letter, 3 owners were sent a letter in the summit letting them know that after June 1st, the trees would be removed. I heard back from one of them, and that's on page 32.
Oh,
That's an email from Jennifer Othon. So,
okay.
they own it.
Sorry, I'll retract my motion. I didn't understand that. I apologize.
Next door.
Good.
Well, I'm just presenting her letter back to you.
Oh, you got it.
This is the only thing she talked to me about it.
So she said they've been there for 8 years.
Well, this is a picture of them on page 35.
You know, my main concern on this, Katie, was they were, potentially trying to claim the land, use it. So that's why I thought we should probably have it removed.
Okay, you kind of broke out who they were trying to what?
Well, if you use it, and Mr. Atkinson can correct me if I'm wrong, but if you use land, or basically fence it off, put a plan on it, whatever, say, hey, this is mine. After 7 years, I believe you can adversely possess it, or 10 years. I can't remember what the term is. But I believe if we allow them to use it, we know they're using it, in 10 years they could potentially adversely possess it and put a fence around it. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, it's 10 years in Arizona, but that's typically applicable when you, like I noticed this picture, is a fence. If you fenced in an area, we've had many associations where people put up fences, or they put a driveway over your common area, something like that. That's where you have a risk of having an adverse possession claim. Really having a tree that's in the middle of nowhere on the common area isn't likely to give rise to an adverse possession claim. I guess you can claim she owns that foot diameter of a common area, but I think the risk
Okay. So I did. Go ahead. I'm sorry. What'd you say, Robert? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to talk over you.
I was going to say, whatever we respond and say, leave these, you can leave these, but just don't plan any more.
I don't think we tell them that they can leave them. I just think we don't respond, and if we want to remove it later, we do. That would be my opinion. We just don't respond to her letter. I don't think we need to. You planted stuff on our property. We asked you to move it. That's it. And if we want to take it out, we will.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with sending over their back saying the board's not waiving any rights to the tree, but will allow us to keep it, but we put on notice, don't plan anything else. Perfect.
Yeah, and then we may remove it at our discretion. You know, if we decide we want to remove it, it's our property, and we may decide to do that in the future.
Yeah, if it's causing problems, you know, some kind of tree that gives off something or other, but yeah, that wouldn't hurt to say we don't waive any rights. Okay, motion to approve that verbiage.
Okay.
Second. Second. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Aye.
I'm in favor.
All right. Now we get to new business. Arizona Corporation file.
So the enclosed document 36 to 39, the paperwork for the annual report, asking for the board to affirm the information on here, and we'll have Gary sign it after the meeting.
We have a motion to approve. Motion to approve. Second. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Aye.
I abstain.
Moving on, video and audio recording policies. Is that attached?
Page 40.
Okay.
So for the videotaping, audio taping meetings draft policy, as these things come, I guess, to be in different associations, you guys have now had videotaping, audio taping. I've got a couple other associations as they come forward, or as board members request it, we will put a draft in front for consideration. That is what page 40 is.
And you have other associations that have this policy. Many members. Good. Almost all. Should we, and I could be wrong here, on item 2, it refers to a community manager. Is that the right word? Okay.
That's me.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I have some serious concerns about this. One, basically ARS 33-1804, in my opinion, allows you to make board. Let me read it. I've got it here. The board of directors of the association may adopt reasonable rules governing the taping of open portions of the meeting of the board and the membership, but such rules shall not preclude such tape recording or videotaping by those attending. I think some of these guidelines are attempting to preclude this. So I mean, what you say for example, a homeowner doesn't provide 24 hours notice. They show up at the meeting and they start videotaping with their phone. You're going to say, hey, that breaks this rule. You're precluding them from videotaping an open meeting, in my opinion. So I don't think those rules are reasonable. I don't really think they're necessary. And bringing this up now is There have been a lot of accusations against the board of illegal activity, and it just looks like the board is trying to be less than transparent, and it could potentially violate ARS 33-1804 again. I believe they already have, and I think that would be another violation of that. So that is my opinion.
I don't see anything in here that precludes anybody from videotaping.
Well, if you don't give 24 hours notice. Number 9, no recording can be published via the internet or other means. You can't tell people what they can do with their own personal videos. That's not provided in that law. Other things that concern me, so only those persons with a legal right to attend the meeting may record the meeting. That's already specified in the law, so that's unnecessary. Number 2, so the 24 hours, if they don't provide that advance notice in email or fax, then I would say you are precluding them from taping. There's nothing that provides, I just don't think that's a reasonable rule. And so what are you going to do? Say a homeowner doesn't provide that 24 hours notice. Are you going to say, sorry, you can't videotape? Is that what the board would then do and say, sorry, you can't? Then you're precluding. So yeah, it looks pretty bad. I mean, I'm accusing the board, or the homeowner has accused the board of a lot of illegal activity, and now it looks like you're trying to be less than transparent and potentially hide even more illegal activity. So I just think it's a bad time to enact this. It's a bad idea. I mean, if the board says something like you're not, maybe just enact a rule that says you're not being obstructionist in the meeting, you're not trying to obstruct the meeting in any way with your videotaping. But why does it matter if it's on a tripod or not? How are you going to define the back of the room? Number 5, all videotaping must be on a tripod and be located in the back of the room. Where's the back of the conference room? Is it where, what defines the back? So if we're going to do any videotape rule, I would just say that we haven't had a problem with it. Nobody's been obstructionist, I don't think, with it. So I would just simply say, if any rule, I would prefer none. But if there's any rule, I would say, you're just you're not obstructing the meeting with the videotape, and leave it as a kind of subjective standard.
Anything else?
No.
Motion to approve as written. Second. Oh, I'm sorry, here's the typo on item 9. I think you meant to say without prior written board consent, and so the 2 should be stricken.
Yeah.
But other than that, approve it with that change. Motion to approve with that change. Second.
Discussion. What are you going to do? What do you suggest that the board does if somebody publishes it to the internet? Because what are you going to do if somebody breaks that rule?
If somebody what?
If somebody breaks the rule, and that we're enacting, which I believe is illegal. I don't think these rules are reasonable, and I think they're in violation of ARS 33-1804, especially paragraph E, where it clearly states that everything in that law is, you shall construe any provision of that section in favor of open meetings. The board is trying to close off the meetings, be less transparent, and it's in violation of the law. What are you going to do if somebody publishes it to the internet? There's.
Lady, let me talk.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so this in no way prevents anybody from recording the meeting. There's nothing in the statute that gives people the right to use the recordings for any purpose. So we found that this is reasonable, and as I said, many of our clients have this. It's not prohibiting anybody from attending a meeting. They have the absolute right. The board is not closing down the meeting in any way. It's just saying that people that want to record the meeting have to abide by these rules. Somebody violates the rules, enforceable like any other rule adopted by the board.
What would you do? That was my question. What recourse would the board have if a member were to break this rule or one of these?
Like any other rule, they can fine somebody, or they can get into a court and get an injunction from the court ordering the person to cease the violation.
Yeah, I don't see that withstanding. And I've read Carpenter Hazelwood stuff. I believe there have been some legal challenges to other associations based on these rules that you have read. Am I not mistaken?
I'm not aware of any, but I can't say there have.
Yeah. I don't think it would withstand being reasonable. I don't think it would withstand, being open and transparent. And we have a duty to be open and transparent. And if the board enacts these rules, I think they are clearly, in my opinion, you're trying to hide more of your illegal activity. And we need to be open and transparent about how we operate. And I don't think these rules are necessary.
Should there be something in here about the videotape not representing a record?
Do you mind clarifying that, Jim? As far as what is the video recording? Does it have any weight within the association
No,
record?
there's no way with the association. The minutes approved by the board and the minutes.
Say again, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that last part.
The minutes as approved by the board are the minutes. The recording of the meeting is not the minutes, whether it's taken by somebody attending or taken by the property manager or anybody. The minutes are the minutes that are finally approved by the board.
Yeah, I understand that, but a video could be used by a homeowner to prove that the minutes are not accurate.
Well, the question I had was whether there should be something in the policy about that.
But this is about process for recording. I mean, whether or not it's the minutes,
Okay.
is different. It's not
Separate issue. Okay. All right. So we had a motion. We had a second. There's not any further discussion. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed?
Nay, I think these rules are not reasonable and in violation of ARS 33-1804.
Okay. 7C, question and record request policy.
This is another policy for the board to consider, just to explain the process of emails received, records requests received. Again, you guys have had a larger than average amount, so those associations that we've worked with, it kind of helps homeowners and board members and management understand the process.
Is that page
41.
41? Okay. Currently, the way it is, right, as far as in writing.
I don't see anything here that's any different from ARS 33-1805. It's basically the records requests. I don't see the necessity for this at all, because it's kind of just restating the law. I don't see why
I think it's easier for the public to get to, because most people are going to go look up ARS
1805. Yeah.
website. So it'll be on the website. So everybody knows having it correct.
good idea.
What's that? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
Well, we were talking about posting, putting this, making it available on the website, so that way people won't have to go to ARS and search it.
Why not just post the law? It's pretty clear. It's pretty straightforward. You got 10 days.
Adopting this policy has become an official record or documentation, so it will be disclosed to every new homeowner, put on the website. It's the policy of the board.
I just don't see why it's necessary. It's just the policy is just saying that we're following the law.
Okay. Motion to approve. Second. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Nay, I don't think it's necessary.
Okay. 70 sealed bidding solicitation award. I'm trying to be careful.
You're on.
No, you're good. Okay. Oh, sorry. No, I just think it would be prudent if we adopted a very simple policy on soliciting. When we solicit bids over X amount, say it could be in excess of 200 or 500, whatever it is, just to employ a still bidding process.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Al. Can you move the phone over closer to you? I'm not hearing what you're saying.
What I'm suggesting is that we employ a sealed bidding process, and we can decide on the amount. It would be anything over $500, or the estimate is $1,000, but we can decide on that at some future point. But I'm suggesting on all bids that we anticipate would exceed that amount, that we employ a sealed bidding process whereby all vendors would be asked to submit sealed bids, and that they be opened in the presence of, say, 2 board members and Katie, or at least 1 board member, and we can decide on that just to protect ourselves against any shenanigans.
Well, the whole board's still got to approve any decision, right? I don't see.
It's not about approval. That would be a separate process. It's just that, to protect ourselves against any, what's the word I'm looking for here? Any allegations of wrongdoing. Allegations of wrongdoing. Thank you, Jim.
Is there a page on this? I'm still not following exactly what we're doing.
No, it's not.
Okay, so hang on just a second.
Some associations do this with a minimum, or any contracts over $500, or some dollar amount. Exactly. But for minimum things, you don't go through that. That is correct. And we can establish a minimum. I don't know what that would be, but by group discussion, we can establish what that minimum might be. Anything that exceeds that minimum, according to our estimate, and it has to be based on our estimate, obviously, because at that point, when we solicit the bid, we would not know exactly what the bids were going to be. However, in any case, those sealed bids would be open at a meeting to include, I would guess, the minimum of 2 board members and Katie. So what would be an appropriate dollar amount? 500. Anything over $500.
So anything over 500. So anything under $500, Katie can spend. Is that? I still am not clear on what exactly we're trying to achieve here. We're giving Katie the authorization to spend any money under $500.
No. The bids do not have to be sealed if we estimate the work or the contract would be less than $500.
And by sealed, you just mean that the one vendor can't necessarily see the other bids.
And that's right, and it would prevent any board members from sharing information with other vendors or.
Sure. I get it now. So like if somebody's got a buddy and they're trying to get them some business, and they say, hey, I've got this other bid. Yes, I think that would be unethical. I agree. So
in the private sector, another issue is based on my career in construction management. You have problems with kickbacks and so forth as well. So that's not so much, I don't believe a concern in our case. But it just eliminates any perception of wrongdoing.
Well, I know, for example, and Jim, jump in if I'm wrong here, but the property management firms can't accept kickbacks from or commissions from anybody that they contract on behalf of the properties they're managing. I think that's already illegal. Is that true?
I'm not sure what your question was, but it would protect against that type of kickback to the property manager from happening. Although I'm sure that's not happening in any way related to Sterling. But it would be a way of preventing or giving some comfort that that's not happening.
Okay.
So how do we proceed? I mean, before we vote on it, I'll write up a policy. I'll do that. It only take an hour or so, because this is the way. For many, many years, I conducted business. Right. Of course, the projects were somewhat larger. In the private sector, it's just done. In every case, it's done. Yeah, I agree. So we table the issue, allow written draft policy
Yeah, we're not doing anything now. It's going to be next meeting.
Right. Okay, the vacation rental issue, really how this started is Scott and I were talking out in my front yard, and there's a house near him that he suspects is a VRBO house, but the issue was over graduation weekend, there were 7 or 8 vehicles parked out in front of that house, and, just a mass of people that were spending the weekend there. I know there's another house right down the street from me that I haven't had any issues with, but every other week there's a different vehicle pulling in and unloading ice chests and stuff out of that. So I know that suspect that's probably a vacation rental. And honestly, I haven't looked into it a whole lot. It was just a conversation between Scott and I, and he was upset because of his house.
I agree.
He said there were 7, 8 vehicles parked out front. So I'm curious what other associations have done, or even if the board has any standing to.
Well, I believe there's a, hey Gary, I believe there in